Good morning, everybody. It's currently 9:30 in Miami, Florida. It is Saturday. Hi, I am Victoria, for those of you who don't know me. So if you haven't watched my other video yet, it is the ASVAB slash PICAT exam. And basically, I'm just letting you guys know, level of difficulty, what you guys have to study, so on and so forth. So this video is basically going to be based on my experience at Meps, the full physical. Because there are two times that you go to Meps. You go, well, I know some people go for the full ASVAB. You go for the full ASVAB, or you go for the PICAT confirmation test. Now, the PICAT is one that you take at the recruiting office. Depending on your recruiters, which test you get to take. But, so I took the PICAT, but I know that there are some people that take the full ASVAB at Meps. So, basically Meps, it's like going to the doctor's office all day. So, the first thing that happens when you walk in, you get briefed based on what is going to be done to you. You get, you go into like a classroom, and there's like, well, in my facility at least, there was like a guy nurse, and he had like scrubs on and stuff, and he was checking our blood pressure when we first walked in. They give you your medical file so you could take it upstairs to the second floor to where all the medical stuff is at. And then, like I said, they put you in a classroom and they brief you, and they give you, depending if you're a guy or a girl, they give you a sheet and it says different parts of the body, and they tell you what is going to be done with that part of the body. So, for example, for women, the breasts, they tell you, oh, it's going to be checked for lumps, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Same goes for guys, for specific parts, whatever. So basically, from a girl perspective, the same thing is done to guys, by the way. So don't think, oh, it's just because we're girls. No, it's the same thing. Basically, obviously, there's just one difference between the two of us. Technically two. But so you get briefed, and then after that, you are then moved on out of the classroom into like this little waiting area. It's just a bunch of chairs, and basically, sitting in those chairs, it's like being in a line. And first you get, so there's like different stations. So there's the hearing booth, there's the vision, then you have the full physical, as in like they check you down there in the back, blah, blah, blah. And that's when they make you do like the weird movements, which I'll elaborate more on that later on. And then they also have where you get the blood work done, where you do the P test, which, by the way, I will also explain to you how the P test works. And then the general physicals, where they check your ears, your nose, your throat. They, like just feel around your stomach, like when you go see your doctor. So then after that, so the first thing I did was, I think it was my blood work. Yeah, because so when you're sitting in the chairs in the line, that's another thing. Where I was at, it was pretty messy. But, so when you're sitting down waiting for you to get called for the general physical, I got pulled out of the line, and they were like, oh, just go do the blood now and then come back. So I did the blood work. Basically, you sit in a regular chair, like, like that chair where it has like the thing that comes in front of you. So yeah, you just sit there, they take out your blood. It's like 2 tubes, I want to say, and then that's it. Now, the pee test. Yes, you do have to pee in front of somebody. It's not as awkward as it sounds, but then again, it varies on where you do it, who you're doing it with. So for those of you that are watching this video, if you are in Miami, you will have the same experience as me because it's the same people. But the lady, when you go into the bathroom, it's 2 stalls, but it's only one person at a time. And she takes you all the way to the back stall. It's like the really, really big one, and it doesn't have a door. But it is a stall, like you can actually walk in, and it has like the walls or whatever. She doesn't walk into the stall with you. She stays outside of the stall, but there's no door. Just to make sure that you don't, take out a pee bag and whatever. You pee in the cup, and then she'll just tell you to put it on the floor, you know, clean yourself, whatever. And then she will go around to the other side. There's like a little window in the bathroom around to the other side, and she'll tell you here, put the cup here, and then put this label on it, whatever. Like, you basically make your own labeled pee cup, because ahead of time they'll give you the label that you initial. That's another thing. Everything that you do in the Meps location, you will have to initial every single label. What else? Oh yeah, I totally forgot. So before you start to do anything, you have to basically redo the whole entire the paperwork, your medical paperwork, just to make sure that everything you put before and the time before that and the time before that, whatever, they make sure that everything is staying consistent, and they can check for certain things. If you have glasses, do bring your glasses, and do put that you have glasses. For example, I put that I have glasses because my eye doctor told me that I needed glasses. And when I go and I take the test, the vision test, he tells me, you're fine, you have 20/20, I don't know why you have glasses, which I never wear my glasses anyway. So that's another thing. You might even discover things that you didn't have before. I don't know. But that's another thing. If you're not feeling good that day, you know, slightly headache, whatever, remember that whatever you tell them that day, they write it down. Every little thing that you say, they write it down. They even ask, oh, did you have a protein shake today? And I told them, yeah, I had a protein shake. But, you know, that doesn't really matter. But they're very detailed. They will find any reason to disqualify you. So if you really want this, please, just try to hang in there. Just hang in there, you know. It's a long day. It's very stressful, and it's very annoying and frustrating because you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. But I promise you, if you get it all done in one day, you don't have to come back. And that's another thing. A lot of people do have to go to Meps once or twice, maybe even 3 times, because they didn't do something right, something came up, they said something, you know. Okay, so after the pee, after the blood, I went in to do the vision test. Basically, it's like when you go to the eye doctor, they don't dilate you or anything. They just tell you to put your head in, you know, the machine, whatever, and they tell you, oh, read this. Do you see the little house? La 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 la. They don't do the puff in the eye thing where, like, I'm sorry, guys. I just woke up. So, they don't do that thing where they, like, puff air into your eye or whatever. It's literally, they just make you read, and that's it. So after the vision test, I went on to the hearing test. So when you go into the hearing test, it's kind of creepy, to be honest. It's like you're walking into, like, a little mini trailer inside the building. So you walk in, and, like, there's like, these little separated, areas, and there's, like, a stool in each little area. So, okay, basically, let me put this down. So let's say you have this, right? When you walk in, let's say this is the door, you walk in, and right here is the little walking area, and then every so often there's, like, a little slit that comes out on the side of, like, the trailer, and then there's a stool in each one, and then there's, like, a pair of headsets just hanging on the wall, and then you put them on. I think it's right is red, blue is left, or whatever, I don't know, they tell you there, and you have a clicker, and every time you hear the noise, you gotta click. And that's pretty much it. And then the guy was very, like, slow. So we were sitting there for quite some time after taking the test, and just waiting and waiting. I'm not gonna lie. By the time I got to the hearing test, I literally took, like, a mini nap inside of the booth, because it's very, very quiet and the lights are low. So you're like, it only lasted like 30 seconds, but it was a good nap. It was a good power nap. That's another thing. Please, I stress this very much. Another thing for those of you, wow, I just skipped to, like, 2 different topics. So please take a good nap the day before. You want to do that. Sleep. Embrace the sleep. You check-in is usually like 3 o'clock. That's when you have to check in. You have to be back by 8 o'clock and sign yourself back in if you signed out to be with, like, your family, or you wanted to, like, go out somewhere or something. And then curfew is 10. There is usually a briefing at 8:15. They tell you what not to touch, what not to do, talk to you about Meps for those of you that are going for the first time. If you've already been there, she'll just dismiss you. But then again, like I said, that's only if you're in the Miami area. I don't know how it is in other places. Um, and another thing, for those of you that are struggling with weight, for example, me, because of my body shape, it's pretty hard for me to like lose weight because I do have big hips and I do have a big butt. So trying to lose like the extra 2 pounds that I had was extremely hard. So what do I suggest doing? Eat very light throughout the day before. Drink lots and lots of water so you can go to the bathroom throughout the day. And then try to work out for an hour. Make yourself sweat as much as possible. Tire yourself out. I promise you, you will thank me later. Because those 2 pounds, I don't know how I did it, but I got them off. Literally the day before. So that was pretty cool. For those of you also that are struggling with like losing weight, there's something called the military diet. I've done it many times. It's very safe. Okay. But you have to have very strong will. What does that mean? You have to be able to cut cold turkey. Because I'm not gonna lie, the portions are very small, but the components of the food is what burns fat. Like the foods that are the combination of the foods for each and every single meal is what burns fat. So if you follow it like a religion, I promise you, you will see results. You're supposed to lose up to like 5 pounds, almost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. So if you still have some time, I definitely recommend you guys check that out. There's also, for those of you who struggle with water weight, there are water pills. You can go on Google, search up water pills. The one that I know is WaterX. That one's really good. You just take it, and all that excess water, you just pee it out pretty much. Do I recommend laxatives? No, because I think it's just going to have you feeling really bad. But if it's gotten to that point, then I guess you can try it. It's all on your own risk. But the water pill is safe. It's just peeing, pretty much. And the military diet, I've done it many times. I actually enjoy it, to be honest with you. It gives me a lot of energy. It has you waking up, refreshed and ready for the day. So that's pretty cool. So back to the Meps. After the vision test, I had the full physical. So let's talk about the full physical. So the full physical is actually kind of funny. So I walked into the room where it says female gynecology, and when you walk in, there's a sign and it says strip down to your bra and panties and take off your shoes, and then they just have you sit on this bench. It's like a huge room, and there's like a bench all the way at the back wall. And you have to take everything off, and you're just in your bra and panties sitting there like this in a very, very cold room. And then girls slowly start to keep coming in. That's another thing. They like to do it at the end of the day. So as soon as you're done with that, you can get out of there. So it's like an incentive, So girls just kept coming in. And then every girl that would come in, because me and 3 other girls were the first ones. So every time a girl would come in, if they didn't see the sign, we would just kind of point at it so they could do what they got to do. Another thing, you guys are probably wondering about the whole granny panties thing. So, granny panties. I don't want to like show you underwear, but basically, when they say granny panties, it doesn't have just don't wear cute panties. Don't do it. Who are you wearing cute panties for? There's no point, What I would recommend you guys to just wear just wear boy shorts. To be honest, I didn't wear boy shorts. I wore like full on granny panties. But if I would have known before, I would tell you just wear boy shorts, because those are fine. They're not gonna require you to take them off around anybody. That's another thing. So when you get checked, like actually checked, the lady that we did it with, the lady that does all of the physical touchy stuff, she was very rough, first of all. But she was very straightforward. She didn't try to like talk a little bit. Like, no, she didn't do any of that. She was very quick. So she, went in, did what she had to do, got back out, told you to go, whatever. So what do? You go in, and she will tell you, strip down, take off. She will take you to a room, and then she'll say, take off your bra and panties, keep the little robe thing on, and then just lay down with your butt at the edge of the bed or whatever, with your legs on the thing. And then she will say, she'll basically explain to you what she's doing. She's like, oh, I'm going to put the light now. And then she'll touch, like, your inner thigh a little bit. And then she'll say, like, these are my fingers, just so you can know what's going on. Then she basically just opened whatever. And then now the whole butt check. She does check your butthole. But she doesn't tell you, oh, flip over, spread you, but no, she doesn't do any of that. But I know that the guys had to do that because some of the guys were saying that they had to do that. So I don't know. But she checks it for you. She just goes like that while you're laying down, and then she goes, all right, you're good. Oh, and then the boob check. She literally just goes like this all the way around, and she's just like pressuring whatever, and then you're pretty much good. And then after that, she will tell you, put your bra and panties back on, and then she will say, when I tell you to put your hands up and then bend forward, and basically just to make sure that your spine is okay, and make sure that your hip bones, yeah, your hip bones are like not uneven or something. Because I know that they're like, for example, me, I have one that's a little bit higher than the other, but that all comes with body shape. And now, if it's like to a certain extreme, obviously, where you're walking funny, yeah, you know what happens. After that, they do give you lunch. Lunch wasn't bad. It was a very basic sandwich, but there were also cookies, there were chips, there was an apple, there were sodas. So that was a pretty good incentive. Now, when it comes to what happens next, I know some people just go in for the full physical and then they go home. I did everything same day. I did physical, I did the swearing, the contract, I did everything. Now, when you sign your contract, I'm in Army, by the way. For those of you that don't know, I don't know if I ever mentioned it. You do get a future soldier book bag. I don't have it around me right now, but actually, let me just. But you do have a future soldier book bag. It basically looks like, I don't know if you guys know what the digital uniforms look like. That's pretty much what the book bag looks like. This video is turning out to be very long. Okay, so this is the book bag that you guys will receive. This is what it looks like, pretty much. It says U.S. Army there, whatever. You will also receive a t-shirt inside of the bag. I don't have that anymore, but I know that your recruiter will also be giving you one. Don't have that around me either. But yeah, so that's pretty much the process, to be honest with you. There's really not much else I can address at this point. If you guys have any other questions, you guys can always just leave a comment down below and I will answer to the best of my ability. And yeah, so I will be doing updates on my basic training. Obviously, I can't tell you guys when I am leaving, but just know it's sometime next year, in the beginning of the year. Am I nervous? Yes, I am extremely nervous, but I'm also extremely excited. I know it's going to be the best decision that I have ever made. I actually currently do have my my best friend. He is in the Army. My best friend's boyfriend, he is in the Marines. You know, my cousin's probably going to the Navy soon. And my other friend, he might be joining the Army with me as well. So, you know, we've all kind of decided to do this together pretty much. But yeah, for those of you that are in the Miami area, if you guys are considering joining, please go ahead and contact me. Leave a comment down below or send me an email. You can get my contact info on the About tab in my channel. I'm pretty sure it's there. If not, I'll update it now. And I will let you guys can talk to my recruiter. He is thebomb.com. Like, he is amazing. I can promise you that. He opened doors for me that I didn't even know were there for me to be opened. So, you know, definitely I think that the military is something that a lot of people should consider. It is a great opportunity. It has so many different advantages, so many benefits, and I have yet to meet a person that was not happy in the Army. My grandmother's best friend retired a few years ago from the army, and he is living the life. Let me tell you. I will be retiring at 38. So, how many people can say that? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know, and I will see you guys next time when I am leaving. Bye.